everyone, it's Lisa from My Dream in Soap. Thanks for dropping by. Now for this soap today, this is possibly, I haven't decided yet, going to be an entry for the Design Mania competition 2023. Now there's, I think, 4 things that you could do, and you're allowed to do up to 2 entries. I'm just going to do the one because I'm quite pushed for time, and I've chosen to do the sunset, tropical sunset theme, they've said. So I'm going to do myself a sunset theme soap. So what I've got here is the oils and lye with sodium lactate for the first layer that I want. So I'm just going to get these mixed up. Now this layer is going to be the foreground of my soap, and I'm going to pull up a picture of the inspiration photo that I've used for my soap. So I'm just going to do the foreground, the dark bit of the soap, the bits that's underneath the boardwalk and the whatever the building is on the boardwalk. Now I'm going to have some of this a nice yellowy colour, and then some of this I'm going to have a sort of a dark grey. So in here I've got my favourite yellow, which is Sunshine Yellow from Mike and Mama. Okay, so I'm sort of splitting this, a quarter for my yellow and then 3/4 for my silver grey colour. And the grey I've got here, or the silver, is Antique Silver, once again, from Mike and Mama. The fragrance I'm using is Sundown from Oasis Oils in the UK, so I thought that would be a nice appropriate fragrance for my sunset soap. Now I'm going to put some of my grey in a squeeze bottle. And also my yellow. Okay, and then I've got my mould. Now this is my mould from Custom Craft Tools, and I want it on a very slight angle, just because I want more of the soap towards this side than to this side. Now I'm just going to wait until I've got a little bit of a trace on that, because that's a little bit too thin to pour at the moment. So I'm just going to leave that for a second, and I'll come back when we're ready to get that in the mould. I think I'm pretty well ready now. Now this is still really fluid. This is a nice fragrance oil, and I don't mind it being quite fluid, because obviously this is going to be water. So if it's a bit wishy-washy, that's fine. But I did want to definitely make sure everything was nicely emulsified. So the first thing I'm going to do is pour this silvery grey in, just to give me a base layer. So I want it sort of darker towards the bottom. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm going to start bringing in my other colours. So I've got my yellow here.
One step forward and another back. I would never try to fool you. I'm one heartbeat away from going
and then my grey again.
When you're looking like that, closer, closer, I'ma get closer to you. Yeah, got me, baby, got me hooked on you once again.
So I'm sort of just trying to build up sort of stripes of the sort of sunset sunlight rippling through the sea. And the reason I'm using a squeeze bottle to do this is because I can drop these layers, even though this is still really fluid, I can then drop them nicely on top of each other and hopefully get these little layers rather than everything dropping through.
Loving you is all I wanted. I'm wide open for a love affair. Girl, when you're looking like that, close closer, closer. I'ma get closer to you. Yeah, got me, baby. Got me hooked on you once again. Damn, girl, I need you. How many times do I wanna yell? 'Cause we could be so complete. Baby, I'll never want anyone new. I was on your bed and you undressed. Baby, when I pulled you in and felt your breath.
I think we're pretty nicely set up now, so let's get this scraped.
Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I can never resist it.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's scraped through nicely. Now you may be wondering what this blue block is on the end of my mould. All it was I found with this mould is that when I made my soaps in it, by the time I come to cut my soaps, and I always take off sort of like a ½ centimetre off of each end, it meant that I had a big old piece left and I was almost wasting a bar of soap, because this is pretty well, this mould is pretty well the length of, I think it's 18 bars of soap if you don't trim anything off the end. So I was having quite a lot of wastage, which I didn't like. And I don't actually give end pieces as a way of samples, I actually make samples to give away. So for example, something like this, I'll put into some cute little cloud moulds and turn those into samples. So therefore I was getting wastage that I didn't like. So that's all I've done there, is just made myself a little block just to shorten my mould, so I'm not wasting end pieces unnecessarily every time I make soap. Okay, so there's that done. So what I now want to do is I want to make my sort of boardwalk or whatever it's called, and my little hut that's on the boardwalk. We're all nicely set up here, and what I'm just going to do is just carefully draw, I'm not sure if these will show up in the soap, some little lines, just so I've got some, you know, with a reflection of sort of the top of the boardwalk, the posts that would be there. So I'm just going to do that and hopefully be able to get some soap in there, because it's a very thin line. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some of this first of all while it's quite fluid, so I can fill in this shape nice and easily. Now some of it is going to go into an area that I don't want, probably, but that's okay because I can remove it afterwards. Okay, so I've just made up some black with activated charcoal, got my fragrance oil in it. So I want to fill in, while it's fluid, into this shape, because this shape I've done sort of not straight, I've done it quite wiggly. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that for a minute, because that's sort of like the reflection of the boardwalk and the little beach hut. And what I want to do is build up the rest, but I don't want to flood the whole area and waste so much soap. So therefore I've only done enough really to keep it in this area. So I'm going to wait till that stiffens up a little bit and then add it that way and then scrape from there. What I've been doing, as you can see, is, I hope you can see that. Can you see that all I've just done is, as I've let this black soap thicken up a little bit, I've just gradually been blobbing it into this area just so I didn't have to fill all of this. Now when I scrape it, it's quite likely that some of it will drop down onto this area, but that's okay, I can clean it off afterwards. So I'm now going to go in, and I'm hoping it's stiff enough. It may not be quite yet. I'm going to go in and create the top of my little hut. Now obviously what I'm concerned about is, can you see this area here, to try and create this little overhang, I need the soap to be quite stiff, but at least I can sort of go in and start initially, you know, getting some of the excess off and making the shape. actually pretty happy with that. That's worked really well. I think I've obviously just got just the right texture. So I can now just go in and just tidy it up a bit. I'm now going to do the rest of the C area around this bit here. So what I want to do is I'm sort of following my image that I've got, and I want it to have sort of like a brighter area in the middle and sort of darker towards the side. So what I've done is, again, I've filled up some squeeze bottles, and in this one I've got more of the sunshine yellow. This I've got clementine pop, but I've mixed it with a bit of antique silver, so it's a darker orange. And this one I've just got the nice bright clementine pop. Okay, so those are what I'm going to be using. I've got a little bit that didn't fit in my jug, so I'm just going to get that in first. Okay, and I'm just going to mush this a little bit, just so there's not too much of a, complete line here. Right, and now I'm just going to start building this up.
What's it like to be the one that he turns to when he's out of answers? What's it like to be the one that he comes to when he wants to dance? I wonder what's that like? I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name, and I'm running out of time. I wish you felt the same, and I'm acting stupid like every day. Don't know what to do or what I should say, 'cause I've got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name. What's it like to hold his hand when he tells you that you're all he wants? And it's midnight, oh, I'm thinking about him.
Okay, I think that's enough on there. I've got a little bit of extra left over, but what I've done, I'll just show you, is the black. I scraped off quite a bit of black off that last layer, so I've just popped it into a separate little mould, all nice and flat, and I'm just going to then add these in here, because I was going to needed some extra for this soap, so I thought I could just do a little bit extra. Okay, I think that's quite a nice little sunset soap there, and that's used up all of those scraps and a little bit of extra that I made of that layer to fill that top up. Right, we're sort of all set up here, and what I want to do first is I've made a very simplistic little boat. Now, I didn't extrude this or anything, I just did one piece of sort of flat soap dough, and then just did a sort of perpendicular bit next to it. Okay, just to give sort of a silhouette of a little boat. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. It's only supposed to be just like an impression of a simple little boat on the horizon. So what I've got here is, I've got some more soap, obviously, and this has got that antique silver in it once again. And I want to do sort of a cloud layer. So I'm just going to do a darker layer at the bottom. Okay, I think that'd be fine. I don't want it too thick. And then what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to sort of split this in half, or sort of in half, but roughly. That's about it. And now I'm just going to lighten one of the bits with a little bit of titanium dioxide. Just so it's not just one big solid colour. Okay, so I think that's plenty. Okay, and then with these I'm just going to do an in the pot swirl.
I'm running out of time. I wish you felt the same, and I'm acting stupid like every day. Don't know what to do or what I should say, 'cause I have got him on my mind, but he has to know my name. I wanna hold his hand, 'cause I can't stop thinking about him. And would he understand if I told him how I feel about him? Oh, 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 oh. I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name, and I'm running out of time. I wish you felt the same, and I'm acting stupid like every day. Don't know what to do or what I should say, 'cause I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name. He doesn't know my name. Oh.
Here we are with our soap the next day, so let's get it cut, shall we? Let's have a look at what we've got. Let's get some random bars, shall we? Let's take this one. Oh, that's come out really quite cute. Pleased with my clouds and my sea. My little, I'm pretty pleased with how that deck's come out and my little boat in the distance. My trees are looking quite cute. Let's have a look at another one. Yeah, that looks really good. A little bit wonky underneath there, but I think that's fine because that's obviously supposed to be just the reflection in the water. Yeah, I'm pleased with those.
And here's a final photo of the soap. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed the video and you like the soap. And if you have, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, then why not subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Happy soaping!